Everything's working. Okay. Alright, so I've been working on getting some of these details back into the map. Again, I feel like I'm spinning my wheels in the mud because I had to rebuild some of this stuff that was lost when migrating over from the old project. So I had to rebuild the sidewalks here, going by the metro stations or the metro pickup areas. Also needed to improvise the trolley station. So I think I might go in this direction. I started laying out the track. I redid some of the trail going through here. So now I've been laying out the track, as you can see. There are other details I want to get into as I'm moving along through these spaces, and I have to backtrack to this area here and start putting in some of those finer details as well, because I'm going to go block by block, and it's going to be a lot. And yeah, the detail we lost in the migration is just unfortunate that I have to rebuild that. Like I have to rebuild the rail too, like I said. Got it going. Added this. It's gonna go through here and turn here. It's gonna go around this block and then over here and then back all the way down the coast to this area where the train station's at. There's another stop right here. And then I believe it was it going this way? Yeah, yeah, it went down this way. Down this street all the way down, and then there's another metro state. Well, there's a main metro depot for the cars down here. Or was it? No, it's here, right here. But I'm not going to start building that part until I get to it. I'm just building the stuff for grade 1, which is what is being seen here. All the this area where the buildings are at, that's all grid 1. So I'll be going through that first. If I can just finish these other details sooner. Of course, I still have to put in some walkways here that were lost as well, but for the most part, a lot of the work's been done, like replacing these splines. Got all that done. I'm gonna to figure out, oh, okay, it is gone. Oh no, it's still there. Water has flooded that garage there. Unfortunate. But we'll get to it when we get to it. Right now, I'm focusing on this area and got quite a bit done. Especially rebuilding this whole lane for the metro rail to go down through. So anyway, now toying with this, and I've been doing some 3D modeling because I need to kit bash some of this stuff out of what we've got. So as you can see here, started building this area as well up a little bit. Is the Coast Guard watch point, I guess what it is. Aquatic Cove, Aquatic Park, Bleach. Okay, so it's an aquatic park. I thought it was like a Coast Guard station. Oh, Maritime Museum. Okay, never mind. It's weird because it looks like they could be lifeguard towers or whatever. But it's a cool place where when we rode through it to take pictures. Now, unfortunately, these bleachers, I'm gonna put them in differently because we don't have a lot of hilliness going on other than the drop down here to the water level to the beachfront, which is what I was working on now. We have this edge piece here for the seawall with a rail, and I'm sort of hit bashing one that will have steps going down because of this right here. See, there's like a few steps going down to the beach area. And I want to put that in, so I'm going to kit bash a little piece with steps on it out of that seawall piece. But, let's see. I think no, that's a different one. Okay, yeah, this is a thinner one. And it looks like it's choking. Okay. This isn't the same as this one. This one's actually a lot thicker, so I have to use this piece. And the pieces I want to create is first one without a rail, which is weird. I don't know why we don't have a variation like that, but I'm going to make one. And right now I need to add some collisions to that. I'm not going to use these though. So I removed the rail on the original piece. Now I'm just going to get some collisions in there. That and it, just having the 3D model some of this stuff has backed me up a little bit, but it's necessary work once again, and it's still in line with level building, so haha. Okay, I'm gonna use a cube. That's probably the best way to go. Let's get rid of this real quick. A vertex snap. Let's copy that. Bang. And again. Oops. Not 5, 4. So those will be the collisions for that piece. And that is not anymore. So that's the original one with the rail. Butchered it by taking the rail off. Mainly because I do want to add this little boathouse here. It's not going to look exactly like this one, but I want a section of that railing to be gone so I can put in like a little pier with the boathouse on here. And now that that's done, copy that name. Do batch rename. It's going to be set name, new, and I'll do, wait, no. UBX, since they're just straight up boxes, and do, leave it like that. So I'll name that one dot 000, and then I'll rename it, or not rename, but find and replace dot with the underscore. The reason I'm using the underscore is because for some reason Unreal doesn't accept it as a dot. It's weird. I've tried it. When I import it into the engine, if you look at the collisions under the asset, like you'll go here, you can see how it has a number of collisions there. It'll come up in yellow and it'll say 0, and then you look at the simple collisions in the asset viewer and they won't be there. So always be sure to use the underscore when naming your collisions. Parent that. And export. Export this to shit, where's that folder at? There it is, kit bash. And the FBX folder. Now this one hasn't been saved either. Actually, that's underscore, I believe, in the actual file. Yes. And that should go to the kit bash folder. That's a designated folder for when I take assets out of the project and modify them with the existing, well, just making new shit out of the stuff we have available is what basically that is. Um, let's see. Yep, that's fine. Now the next step is taking this one and doing the same, but instead I'm going to add steps. And the steps will probably come down to like maybe halfway here or maybe all the way down. Maybe. First off, let's delete this. No, I want the step probably to maybe come off right here. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in shit. Add cube. Whoops. Okay, that was a bad way to add it. That added it to the object. Make sure you're in object mode, not component mode. Switch over to grid snap. Those faces, all I want is this. Point snap on that. But at least now, I'm doing some 3D modeling, some level building, not nav work, which is still necessary work, but I'm not a big fan of it. It's probably boring as hell. Now let's see, did I do extrude edge on that? Pretty sure I did, right? Yes. I'm gonna do, let's do back to grid snap. Extrude. Extrude. I don't know how good this is gonna look. I mean, because that's pretty far up right here. These are gonna be coming down all the way down here to these rocks. So I'm gonna need to come down like right here to this point. That's a long way. Why is it doing that? It's supposed to redo the last command. It's not doing it. This is working well enough. How far down am I? So all the way down to here. It's nice to be doing some 3D modeling, but not really doing any texturing right now. So it takes a little bit out of it. So I'm just butchering what we have right now in the engine to make new pieces. I mean, at some point, you know, like, I guess a little texturing. I will be UV mapping this. But I won't be painting any custom textures. That's the only bad thing about it. Let's see. Maybe one more. Yeah, see, this one didn't snap to the right point. Yeah, I think that'll do it. I mean, it's exaggerated. It's a little more than what we have in actuality. I think in real life, it's only like a few steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 or 6 steps. That's a lot more. I mean, I could always move up the landscape. That'll do pig. Now it's a matter of filling that in. So how am I going to do this? There's a couple of ways. Take this edge, extrude it again, bring it back here, and then maybe just fill that in. No? I mean, it is possible. It doesn't work that way, no. Hmm. New face from edge, that's the one. Thinking like, I know I did this at one point. But even that still doesn't look great. So I'll take this and make, actually no. No, no. There is a way. Is there a way to insert a vertex? Extrude vertices. Bridge this. Loop cut. Let's start snapping this to the back here. Snap this to the edge. Wrong option. No, that'll do it. It's okay, I can always delete that back face. There's probably a better way of doing this, but as I like to say, there's no wrong way of doing something in 3D, just a better way. So as long as you get the desired effect or result, you're doing it right. I think that it's not the last one yet, or is the last one at? I know there's a point here somewhere. No, I think that was it. Let's remove that. There we go. we go. So now it's a matter of UV mapping. I'll delete that face in the back because don't really need it. And I think that might be good. I mean, it might be too steep for characters to go up and down. Of course, I'm going to put a collision there, but looking at it, it's like, the nav might have a little bit of trouble there. But I mean, it serves its purpose. Anyhow, now let's do some UV mapping. First off, let me look at this. All right then. Everywhere. There it goes. That was annoying. All right, let's go into material mode. It has no material, so I'm gonna have to go here to textures with space color. Not that one. Image texture. And just open that up. And I've got seawall there. Throw it in there, and there we have it. Now we're gonna do the same thing with this one. Okay, go back to solid. Is there a way to... Is it rendered? Okay, there it goes. Overlays. Same with this one. I'm gonna add a new material and seawall material so I can see what's going on. Oh, cancel. Let's see, UV editing. It's been a while since I've done UV editing in this program, so it's gonna be a little weird. Anyhow, go into edge mode. Let's see what I'm gonna do here. First off, I'll take that and that. I want that bottom part too. Wait, no, leave that alone. I'll mark seams there. And then mark those seams there. Now the rest of this, that could probably be one piece there as well. So I'll just mark that seam there. Oops. All right. Select it all and unwrap. That I think I'm going to turn it. Is it not set for, it's not set for rotate. That's the bottoms. Yeah, twist that over. Let's turn that off for now. These pieces will probably never really be seen. So I'm not going to do too much with them other than just scale them up a bit. Probably should have done them together instead of doing them separately. I mean, this is just like some really quick, dirty UV mapping. These I'll spread out a little more. I think that'll be all right. First, we need to look at it. I mean, it's not too bad. And now, for collisions. Merge that with the original piece. Then I'll create some collisions. First, copy that name. Whoops, wrong menu. Bring in a cube. And repeat the process. Only this time I'm going to add a ramp for those steps. Let's turn that off real quick. That's the collision for the original asset. Just want to match these up. And then copy it one more time. And this time, I'm going to turn this off. Turn that back on. Not sure. Oh, mouse is good. I mean, just try it, see if the nav builds, but I'll handle that at the bottom. I don't think Unreal would appreciate it if I turn this into a three-sided object. Like merge this with this so that it all kind of lines up. Let's see what happens. Just dissolve edges. Right, hopefully it doesn't freak out because of that. But now I'm going to copy this a couple more times. Now the reason I have multiple hulls is because this is going to go on a spline. And I want the collisions to deform with the base model so that we don't have any weird things going on as far as collisions. So if I only have like one cube on this or one collision hull, that thing is going to deform in weird ways, and the collisions you get in the end are going to be god awful. So anytime you have any static mesh that's going onto a spline make sure that it has enough subdivisions as far as like the collisions go, so that there's a nice deformation. And when you merge the object down into one mesh, you don't get this like weird collision malfunction. I wanted to say something else, but I'm trying to refrain from cussing as much as I usually do on stream. But yeah, that's one thing you need to look out for. These steps, are they gonna work? Let's see. Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay, so that's done. Now it's time to rename it. So I'm going to take the name for this, copy, select these, go to batch rename, switch back to set name, new, and these. Okay, that's where things are going to get tricky. These are going to be UBX. So I'll rename those, and then these are going to be UCX since they're not really cubes. That's how you get them to work. They're still convex hulls, but I'm not sure how Unreal is going to react to them being triangular like that, but I think UCX should do it. So with those renamed, I'm going to take this first one, and this is going to be dot 000. Of course, I have to rename them the same way. Okay, and this one here is going to have zeros. So now I take all of these, parent them to that one, and voila. Complete. Oui. So 4 and 5 are new meshes that I'm going to bring in and incorporate into that setup. So with this folder selected, I'm going to import. I'll go to my folder, which should be this. Down to the kit bash folder. Nope, wrong one. Shit. And we've got seawall. Oh, I didn't export 4, really? What the heck? Done. All right. Back to the engine. Okay, I'm gonna have to do that over again. Import. Navigate back to the folder. And there we go, 4 and 5. So I'll bring those in. Hopefully it doesn't conflict with anything and the material's still on there. Everything looks good. No new materials. I don't know who keeps turning that on. Don't import textures. Okay, import all. Let's see how these come through. Okay, looks like we have an issue here. No smoothing groups. Ah, okay. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I can update those without any issue. So this is 4. Let's get these on. I need to apply the material. That's the one I want. Wait, actually, shit. I could have just done this. All right, so far so good. Let's save. So I'm gonna copy this one real quick. We are in the Roadmaster where I need it. This over, and to this one, I'll apply the one with the gap, which would be number 4. Let's drag that in, and as you can see, it nice and seamless. But that was the easy one. This is the one that I really am modifying here, so let's see how this looks. Okay, not bad, not bad. You know, there's more steps on this than there was in real life. Oh shit, wait, nope, nope. There is a problem. Why does this one not have the material? You little bastard. Let's take a look at that then. Something happened on the blender end. Let's turn off the collisions. Let's look at this material mode. And, could it be, I think I know what it is. It is a UV set problem. Let's go down to here, go to UV maps. There it is. I think I need to get rid of that. That's not necessary. And there it is. We have dynamic lighting, so we don't really need the shit. Okay, something happened there. Now it took it off the other one and it put it on this one. That's not good. Let's bring it back. So what if I deleted that one? Nope. Okay. What if I... No, that's right. Fucking hell, dude. Should have done this before merging it. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to separate selection. Delete that. Delete that from this one, but name it with that one. That way they should work together now. Like this one first, then this one, and then join. Aha! That's so annoying. I always forget little things like that. This is what happens. Don't 3D model for a while, and all you're doing is just like pathing work, fixing bugs. But hey, man, I'm getting back into it. Okay, so now that's done, and let's re-export and re-import. That's another thing I need to make sure I pay attention to is the names of the UV maps, because if the UV maps are named differently, it'll sort of accept them as different maps, and it won't apply the material that you want, especially after merging assets like that. It just screws everything up. Right, so I think we're good now. Let's go back in. Whoops, come on. Yeah, there it goes. Looks good. All right. So what am I going to do here? I am going to probably... I think it should be a pretty good position right there. That should be enough. Then I'll take this piece, line it up to the last one. And continue with the walkway. Tiny little gap. Oh, I gotta do a better job. Now there is a feature on this tool to sort of seamlessly continue the spline and add a different mesh to it. That the thing is it bugs out. I don't like if I have the spline continuing through two different levels, or even when it's not doing that, it'll do weird thing. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, okay. Pendejo. Pendejo. This is what I was saying. A perfect example illustrating what I meant about adding enough subdivisions. I gotta add those subdivisions to the stairway as well. So let's do that. I'm gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go to loop cut. And there we go. Now it should deform properly. I'm sorry, it's the end of the day and my brain is fried right now. It's 6 o'clock. Wow. And I've been at this for a while and I'm trying to get as much as possible done. On my own. And there we go. It's looking good. Okay. Let's go to the top view. Oh man, don't tell me it's doing this again. Now it's time to continue extruding this and lining it up. That'll be the last stretch. And another thing that can be quite difficult about working with splines is after you, or maybe it's just my computer, it's old, is when you stretch it out far enough, you'll get lag like I'm getting right now. So I probably should break this up into two pieces. Like from there, this being one, and then another one. You know what? I'm going to do that. Working with that lag can be annoying. It gets messy. It's always fun. Okay, this is what I'm going to have to go into like perspective mode because the clipping from the top view sucks in Unreal. Even though I adjusted the threshold, it still clips way too early. I don't even see a difference really that the adjustment made. Let's take this section. one, so I'm going to widen it out a little more. It's a little too sharp. I mean, that's steep. I don't think anything's going to be able to climb up that. I mean, I could rebuild Nav right now to see. It's going to take a while. There's a little more I want to get done before I call it. Oh, and then saving it just takes a while too. This map is so big. I mean, the last thing I wanted to do today was just model these pieces out, get them in here. So to that, that's where I'm going to add the little boathouse. Too bad. I was looking for something on Megascans with like rocks like these, like a texture or something, and then I could use those to create the pile up of stones. But I just used the regular stone texture that we have. I mean, it shouldn't hurt. So, okay, now with that in place, over here, I'm going to put in one of those barriers, one of those end pieces that we have. Which is this guy. That's too high up in the air. For that, I'm going to have to switch over to grid 1. How am I going to do this? Okay, I think I know. Widen this out. What else I can add to that, actually? Let's delete these. Oof, that's not good. I mean, it's underwater, not a big deal, but let's cover that up. That's good. Let's see. Let's go over to construction site. bring this piece in here. Turn the snapping off. Take that piece and add it to this side as well, I guess. Just to cover those edges up a little more. So much detail I had to take out because this map was at least 4 times bigger than it is right now. And they told me, you know what, cut it back by like 3/4. I was like, what? Why? And I fought him hard on it, and when I realized, looking at the map even further, I was like, damn, you know what? He's right, or they're right. It's too big. It's massive. It's way too big, and I had to cut back by like 3/4, and a lot of the landmark stuff. I mean, I try to keep in as many of the landmarks in the city as I possibly could. Like I kept this, the barracks, uh, small part of this, and of course that's what I'm working on right now. Most of the pier stuff. I wanted to keep this. I might still squeeze this in somewhere because I thought that was cool. And I remember walking through this area and seeing that. I'm like, damn man, that's pretty fucking dope. Like a football stadium with like a high rise across the way. You can watch the game from up there. I mean, I don't know if they even do that, but I mean, it was still cool. It looked pretty interesting. This park here was also cool. How to take that out. I mean, I could still put them back in, but I'm trying not to put in too many open areas, especially since we have Presidio. Well, Presidio isn't really an open area. There's a golf course there, which is pretty open area, but there are buildings and houses up here. And then we have Golden Gate Park. Can't wait to get to that one. But this is where I'm working right now. And now, let's see, now we're gonna have to start getting the landscape back into position. So I'm gonna move this up so that we don't have that unsightly gap there between the mesh spline and the landscape. It's also created a little more room up here. Throw in a little more detail, like all those nice walkways they have. this is going to go all the way around because I widened out this area too. It's not as long as its real life counterpart or as thin because it's fairly thin. I mean, when you look at it from Google Maps or in Google Maps, it's pretty thin. I mean, there's still enough room for like vehicles to roll up in there, but in the game map, I made it thicker for the sake of gameplay. You know, to get vehicles in here, maybe even to like, you know, for players to build a base or some kind of evacuation point that they can defend. Ugh. I hate when that happens. So this was intentional, you know, I wanted to create more room on this stretch. And let's see if I spot any players actually using this as some sort of staging area or an evacuation point that they can defend on the water, you know, on the coast or whatever you want to call this, at the sea. So that's all nice and even now. Let's get a fly through going here. Make sure there aren't any gaps. All right. Now let's get some more walkways going on in here, because there's definitely a lot going on. Either way, I don't think vehicles can actually drive in there in real life, but I'm going to make it possible. You know, I mean, I'm going to put the same assets there. Like, it looks like they have a gate, as you can see here. I'm pretty sure they have like a gate and some barriers there. Last time we went, I'm pretty damn sure they had a gate there. And I want to throw that in. But also have it, you know, like destructible. So like a vehicle could just plow through the barriers and make its way in here. So for starters, let's get these walkways put in first. Then I'll start putting in some of the smaller details. So let's jump over to Google Earth. Throw this on the other screen. So what we got here? Okay, already got this walkway. Sort of got another one going through here and down along this area. I want to break up a lot of this gray, a lot of this gray, and put this in here. I'm not sure why we made our sidewalks orange. I guess it had that same thought in mind, that thought process where it was going to be just a lot of gray everywhere. So we decided, hey, let's make them sort of tan, brownish kind of sidewalks. And things won't look so gray. So there's like one walkway going like this all the way across. So let's get this thing started here. This is going to be multiple pieces too. Bring this here. Okay, that's where I fucked up now. This needs to go into this level. And there we go. All right. See, I might bring this around this way. No, actually, no, that's fine. There is parking in that area though, so I might, yeah. Maybe dial this back about halfway, maybe there. Bring it across. Maybe all the way down here, why not? Yeah. All the way down here. Have a little parking lot right here for the boathouse. Now again, it's not a one-to-one replica of San Francisco. It's sort of a gamified version of it. I mean, you'll see the landmarks, you'll get the idea. You know, you'll see the Golden Gate Bridge. You already have the Oakland Bay Bridge over there, as you can see. Or at least the block out for it. It's good. So there is another walkway. Let's go to the building folder. Gonna be adding some more buildings in here as well. So for the boathouse, I want to use this guy. And then I'm going to build the dock out this way. Kind of like what you see right here. We do have boat meshes as well, we can throw in there for set dressing. Now for the dock I'm going to build here, I'm going to go into an empty level to build it up. Because I want to make it a unique mesh. I don't want to bring the modular set in here and start throwing in a bunch of random objects into the level. It's just going to be weird. Okay, that's another thing too. These walls here need to go into grid 1. Oh man. That's what sucks about saving work here. It's how long it takes. Alright. Now we get nice little lag spell. For about 5 seconds. Okay, these are in grid 1. Okay, good. Need to make sure these objects are in the right level. Okay. So I'll leave that there for now. Now there's another walkway I want to put in here. It starts like around right here. That wasn't supposed to happen. There it goes. Delete this one. This out this way a little more. Trails on this side, and of course this is going to be the trolley station. I was debating with this with myself today, just kind of messing with this area. I probably should have been doing this before moving to that, but I wanted to get this solved because I was rebuilding this whole stretch of the track, and I realized, okay, the trolley station is right next to the Maritime Museum, and that's another thing that sucks too. Fuck, is I didn't have enough put any. Bleh, I didn't have enough room to put in the Girardelli chocolate factory. Not that, or not the factory, but the whole mall, the whole complex, or the old, I guess, what was the chocolate factory. But I didn't even get to leave. I mean, I could technically take out one of these buildings and turn it into that, but it's like we can't even put Girardelli in the game, so it's like, eh. I mean, I could just make it like an old chocolate factory, but I don't even know if that's what it was. I don't know if it's just like a Girardelli mall or it used to be a chocolate packing facility or whatever the hell it was. Great place to buy chocolate though. I fucking love that place. I like chocolate, so that's like Disneyland for me in a way. So, yikes. I hate that it does that too. Let's move this over here. But yes, I was messing with this space. Seeing, is it possible? Can I integrate the trolley into the existing metro rail that I already have in here? Because I had to like compress a lot of these places. And a lot of really cool landmarks got axed, and I didn't want to axe the trolley station. So I was kind of like working with this area. Okay, how can I just make it seamlessly work into the metro rail so that it can take off from the park or from the Maritime Museum onto the rail and then go down further than this corner, but goes down to this one and then turns and goes all the way down the street and down this street here to where I'll put the second stop right here. So I'll tear out the street at this point and then just put in that turnaround, or they put it on the track and they turn it around and then have it go back up the street the way it comes in. But then of course there's like, how am I gonna reincorporate it to the track on the way back? And I'm thinking maybe bring it up this way, up the street, and then maybe have it turn like right here and then up this street to where it can go through this track here and then back around over here to this street and then into the park. Now, there's no guarantee we're going to have this in the game. It's an idea that's been thrown around as far as like having a functioning metro rail that will travel down these tracks that you can load your troops onto and you pick off infected as you're driving down or riding down the street. That way we'll have two different rail systems, one going from the Maritime Museum into downtown directly, and then we'll have this other one that's longer, which will go along the coast, stops at the stadium and all that, and then goes all the way down to the southern part of the map, and then back again. Now, we don't know if we're going to incorporate this. It's an idea we've thrown around, but if we go ahead with it, it wouldn't help to already have that infrastructure in there, which is why I wanted to set that up. So I worked out a new arrangement here, like a new configuration for the tracks. And I think it can be done. I think I'm going to go with it. Now it's just a matter of building this and the little platform where it turns. So I took like this as a guide into Blender, or I exported it and I'm going to put it into Blender to model a custom piece where it's going to, spin around. Because we don't really have anything solid and circular as opposed to that. We don't have like a circular plate that's about this size. And even then looking at it, I thought that plate was a little bigger, but it's pretty small compared to like a vehicle. So those trolley cars are pretty big in comparison to that, but I guess they fit on there. Like here's one of the cars, and they just roll them on there. They turn it, and then it comes out the other track. So yeah, I fiddled with this plate. I spent a lot of time today fiddling with this area, trying to get that in there. And finally, I was like, okay, we'll do it this way. I did a little planning, and then I finally just went ahead and built the areas where it would cross over, and I was happy with it. I was like, all right, we'll go with that. I mean, because of the compressing that I had to do, we don't have this street here where it goes up directly. I had to work it into this already existing rail so that it comes around and then goes up this street here. It's just kind of like an example of all of the smushing I had to do when I cut the map down. So again, not a one-to-one of San Francisco, but you know, definitely a level that's going to represent that city. So all right. And with that out of the way, I can continue with more detail work. So all over the place today. I mean, 3D modeling, level design, level building, it's getting done. All right. So maybe we'll bring this one and toss it over here. Let's bring this back a little bit. Bring it back a little bit. Right there. Let's grab this piece. Bring it over. Grab this corner here. What the hell is going on here? This is a little funky. Might not even need that there. One right here. Let's see. Hmm. I'm thinking maybe pushing this in and having some parking spaces there. That that is a small space. So I have to bring it in like maybe like that far. This intersection's all wonky too. She's snapping. Textures are starting to go potato too now. Mm, that needs to come back a little though. That's where the return track is going to be. In reality, it's not that curved. Okay, I got a better way of doing this. should be good. Fairly happy with the way it looks. Maybe I should do the same thing I did on this side. It's much better, I guess. And I can just add planters around this area. Looks like there's a gazebo there. Oh no, that's a ticket booth or something. Oh no, the ticket booth is right next to it. Well, I have three little booths there. There's like two right here on this side, and then there's another one on this side. But I think those are going to be custom building jobs, man. Like right now, I think I should really focus on just set dressing. I know I did some 3D modeling with this, but you know, it wasn't modeling from scratch. It was just an easy kit bash. So I took the time to do that. But I think for the little booths that are here, that's going to be a custom job. Because as you can see, that the rooftops are different. It's unlike anything we have. I could use some of the smaller buildings we have in our inventory, but we can do that. I mean, we can just model these out and throw them in there at some point. Maybe I should do it as a stand-in, but I mean, it wouldn't hurt, right? Anyhow, okay, that's done there. Should probably maybe get another one going right here. So first up, bring this back. Where we at? 7 o'clock. All right, so I think it's a good time to call it a day right now because I need to sort of stop and think for a bit. Eyeball this for a while. See what else I want to add. Well, you know what? I'll keep going. Fuck it. Let's see. So I'm gonna throw in some parking spaces right here. So what I'm gonna want to do is I don't want to have that sidewalk extend to the back of this building. And I could take this piece here. To break up a lot of the gray I've got going on in this area. Do this one again, bring it over to this side. Trails on this side as well. This is actually where the bleachers are at. So I might leave that spot. I'm gonna leave this area open for the bleachers. Maybe add another one of these. All right, down the center. It's annoying. So I'll put one set of bleachers here and then the other one here. It's pretty damn close to the trolley station, but yeah, like I said, I needed to compress a lot of this stuff in order for this to work. Let's see, take this piece, start connecting. Let's walk with this. Tangent down. Now I'm thinking, why not put them here and here? Because the bleachers, from what I'm looking at, are closer to the edge than they are to the grass. Well, I mean, they're kind of in between. Maybe do this. And then when you're messing with shit like this for a long time, it's like I said, it's time consuming, man. Every bit of this can be absolutely time consuming. You know, the next thing you know, you look at the clock and it's 7:14. Okay, this tangent needs to come back a little. You know what? Maybe I will do that. Maybe put like one set of bleachers here, another there. I mean, I do have a bleacher mesh, but it's not as great. Let's see. Why do we have two sets? Oh, one's a blueprint. Okay. I mean, well, these will be permanent though. I mean, this is just not the best. Because these are the bleachers that are in there now. They're concrete, and there's like a hill back there too. So it's like I couldn't. Again, we can't do too much with like hills like that because it creates a pathing nightmare. Early on in the project, we had hills like that all over the place that were just insane. And these bleachers are huge too. Just sucks how I had to compress everything. Yeah, there's some on this side. We're going here. Putting these in as placeholders just I don't think is gonna work. Yeah, there's another one on another set on this side. Yeah, so maybe a couple here and then one there. I think will be good. And they're gonna be permanent structures, so we're definitely not gonna make them removable. I know some people are gonna trip out over that, but so sorry. So I'll put another path here to kind of mark out where it's gonna go. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to put those in as placeholders, but not really feeling it. It's like one set here, and then another one right here. Let's see. Where is. So I'll add another pathway here. So what I'll do next is kind of like to block it in. Let's do a poly extrude on these areas. And I'll use those meshes to carry them over into Blender and bang out the blockouts for it. Again, I'm not going to do any texturing like I did with this seawall or UV mapping. Just going to make the blockouts with bleachers, pop them in there, and leave them as they are until we start doing more texturing. You know, once we get into the finalizing of the building meshes and getting textures on these structures, that's when I'll worry about it. So let's see. Now with that area mostly done, I kind of want to put another building in here because on the map it looks like there's something there. Yeah. It's like some kind of covered space. I guess it's like, what would you call that? A pergola? Oh, it's a ball court. Like a basketball court? Hmm. Maybe. Let's see if the basketball court will fit there. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's mess around with some of this. Um, I mean, I imagine it's a basketball court. I mean, what other kind of ball would it be? You don't call a tennis court a ball court, right? You just call it a tennis court. Then again, it has a roof over it, which is weird. I don't have anything like that to put on it. Again, I could create something, but it'll take time. Let's move this tree aside real quick. There's another little structure here and on the other side. Let's see. No, it's only right there. Good Lord, what is that? I mean, it's a thought. It's a thought. I'll have to remove that. Well, adjust this walkway so that it starts here and then goes down that way, I guess. Oh, I could move it here. Let's scooch this over some. Could work. Oh, those they look like vents. Did we take pictures of this area? I'm not sure if we took pictures of this spot up here. I know I took pictures down here. So that spot, let's see. Okay, I'm coming up on 7:30. At some point, I need to stop. Take a break. Throw this one in here, but it looks weird being here. This is exactly why I wanted to get the modular sets for the buildings made and the buildings textured and put in place before doing the detail work, because a lot of this is going to depend on where the detail goes, because, you know, these buildings have entrances and stuff like that that I'm going to incorporate all this detail into. This just looks out of place right here. No. No, no, no. Well, yeah, man, go away. Why are you asking me stupid questions? Just delete it. What else can I use in place of that? I mean, I could use this one, but now I'm just reusing it. I don't like it. This and this need to move to grid 1. I'd be able to use something else for the boathouse. I don't know. Unless I've got another building. Hmm. Hey, how long this takes to save? Random ass Christmas song coming on. Okay, that's weird. The front door is on this side. Alright, so I'll leave that one in there. We definitely need a ton of new buildings in this game. I mean, I could use this one here as well. But that one's kind of big. But the one that's on the map is not a garage or a shop, whatever that would be. Looks like some sort of administrative building. Okay, I'll leave that one in there for now. Now let's look over here. Let's bring this parking space to this area here. good for that spot. Right, let's do some landscape painting here. It's 7:30. I need to take a rest. We made some good progress today. Got the metro rail section in this grid rebuilt. As I move into the other grids, I'm gonna have to continue to rebuild what got lost. Um, this is always the probably my favorite part of just level design is starting to put in the smaller details, really bringing these spaces to life. I want to get into adding some more trees too, so I can start to visualize what else I might want to throw into these spaces. Why is it lagging so bad? Do I need to restart a bitch? This is probably also, yeah, 0.3. I don't know how it keeps ending up at that. There's also going to be dressing up this area with like the trees around it and all the plants and all that good stuff. You know, we can't go too crazy again. It's an open world map. There are a lot of assets on screen at the same time. You know, even with level streaming and all that good stuff, we need to kind of restrain ourselves from going too crazy on the set dressing because it's an RTS. But I'm going to do my best to put as much detail into it and still maintain a pretty performant level. Oh man, Unreal's just been choking this afternoon. Okay, that's gonna be it. I've done enough for today. Gonna continue on maybe a little later tonight, and then of course tomorrow. But San Francisco full time, you know, barring any bug fixes that come up on Discord that I need to get to right away. I'm gonna be banging away at this map until it's completely done. There is some, you know, time I'm gonna need to take to build or model the modular sets for the buildings and start to build those so I could start to drop them into the map and really bring it to life with more color rather than just gray boxes. More color and architecture. And, you know, finally finish it. The biggest map we have in the game so far. Again, I have to line this with dirt because of that stupid procedural grass we have growing through some of these areas. Even here, it's still doing it. There, went away. So I said I'm at the paint in some asphalt. Even when I say I'm gonna leave or take a break, I'm still going at it. So this is kind of like how it is throughout the day, every day that I do work for the game. It's hard to stop, especially when I'm doing level work like this. It just, it's creative work. I enjoy it quite a bit, and like I said, it's hard to stop sometimes. But it is time to take a break. So that's it for today. The work will continue a little bit more tonight and all day tomorrow. Um, yeah, I mean, I can't wait to get this level done. There's a ton of work, man. Just looking out there into that vast landscape. A lot to do. I think I might even start, putting in some trees and smaller assets tonight, like street lights and fire hydrants and all that good stuff. Just to dress it up a little more. I spent way too much time rebuilding a lot of the metro rail and removing landscape splines that I didn't want in there anymore, and just detail work that we lost during migration. There's still some left, um, I believe in this area right here. I think these were the only two areas where I lost it. A lot of work transferring it from the old project. The rest was only just like fences and walls that need to be replaced. As you can see, I've deleted the fencing around the metro depot. And of course, I have to rebuild the rails here at the train station, which sucks. But yeah, that's gonna have to happen. Either way, I mean, like I said, I enjoy the work. Sometimes I find it hard to stop, and I just want to keep going because I want to finish this. I want to see a finished San Francisco level, and I want players to get up in here and start doing their thing, get some feedback, get some bug reports. I'm pretty sure there's going to be quite a few. This is a big ass map. And little by little, you guys are going to see this slowly transition into a fully finished map. We do have, I believe it's still available on the experimental build. You can travel to San Francisco, set up bases. It should be functioning as far as being able to build there and evacuations. It should, because I connected everything. Um, but yeah, some of the exits from the buildings might be a little wonky. Of course, they're not final because the buildings aren't final. But I mean, we're getting into it now. We're gonna bring this to the finish line and have everybody that isn't on the experimental build enjoy it as well. So that's it for tonight. I'm done. As much as I love doing this, I think it's time to take a break. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the stream, like, hit the follow. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday. I try to be on time. I usually come on like at 4 o'clock, but like I said, I get so into the work I lose track, and sometimes I'd rather just keep working instead of streaming. But I hop in maybe for like an hour or two today, 2 hours, to give people a little behind the scenes look at what I'm doing, what I'm planning, and how I'm going to execute, and just the process of dressing these levels up and getting all these details in here little by little, and get the job done. Anyhow, okay, I'm done. I'm so done. I'm gonna be back here on Thursday. See you then. Thanks for watching and have a good night.